This is the GV Podcast, a variety review podcast featuring two of the three idiots giving their thoughts on cartoons and anime. This is an opinion-based podcast, and there's no way we're saying our thoughts and opinions are objective. Keep this in mind and enjoy the show. I'm gonna get a termite pet, and I'm gonna name him Clint Eatswood.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hello, everybody, my name's Mayhem!
I'm Jitsu.
I'm Duke. Who are you? I'm Jaduke.
I'm Jaduke.
And today we're talking about the next part of Bleach, also known as the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it right.
Specifically, it is divided into 4 cores.
4 cores. 4
Four
cores and 7 years ago.
Ending the podcast.
Required more, as it was like Pandora's box.
No, I don't want information on Ezekiel from Marvel Comics. Here it is.
Where's Pandora? I just want to talk to her.
Let me see. The first core is known as the Blood Warfare.
Blood
Core.
Blood for warfare. The second one's Bloodborne.
And the second core is called Separation.
And then the fourth one's Bloodborne 2.
We have no idea what the next 2 are going to be.
Maybe?
But yeah, so Bleach is continuing. It was on hiatus for how many years?
Like 10?
10 years. It just had nothing. And now it's just back. And it looks amazing. This entire,
It's crazy.
setup for it. Wait, hand me the mouse real fast. Hand me the mouse.
Okay, catch.
Ah! Hand me over the mouse.
Catch.
I just, because, Jinzu, have you seen what the modern day, Bleach looks like?
What are you doing?
I'm just pulling up something while we talk about it.
You know I have Opera over here.
Yeah. And he had it already right there.
That new?
Yes.
You want the keyboard too?
Would you like the keyboard?
Maybe. No, it's just type in Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War.
Alright, we're gonna 2-player this like fucking like one controller Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Or one controller Dark
that's
Souls 3.
I still say we
This is
should
great
do
for
that.
a visual podcast.
Rawr.
Blood War. And then images. But yeah, look
It
at
looks
these.
beautiful.
Look at these shots.
I thought it was wild. Honestly, when it came down to it, the thing that got me about this arc was I went back and while I was making clips for the shorts in the past week for Bleach, what do I get to see? The old art style.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you do that, but then you also put like the gloss and like
Yeah. Just
See, we are currently
accidentally
looking
found.
at an image of Orihime that popped out in the show.
Yeah.
It's one thing that I noticed the big 3 writers do when they're like, okay, here's big boobs. What's one step further I can do? Glisten.
What are you guys looking at?
But
so sad
Anyway.
he lost his eye, but also he's still badass.
for the people that can't see this, as
Yeah.
in everyone.
As in everyone. Well, I mean, it is,
No, I know. It's just funny, though.
just look at all. This
This
is
is very pretty. I can't wait for you to accidentally add a spoiler.
Yeah, it'll probably happen. I won't understand it.
Yeah, you won't.
Rukia gets like a.
Oh, man, this is a
Arctic.
horror within my comprehension.
What do you mean Arctic? It's Bedoin.
What does that mean? You're bedoing these nuts.
Oh my god.
Help me understand.
Wait, so what's up with the clothing?
Bedoing?
It's here, look it up, let's look it up. Fuck it.
I just thought they were chilly.
A nomadic Arab of the desert. Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they would wear robes like that because while you're traveling in the desert you need protection.
Ah.
And so they wore like white robes.
Ah, that's interesting. Ah.
In this case, it was to help out with re-entry.
Yeah, it was protective armor, cloth stuff. But yeah, this return of Bleach and who's the art studio that did this one?
Perot.
Perot. Studio Perot did this, and
They've always
It's-
been good.
it's good. And the fact that it's not like a departure of the original art style or anything like that. It's full on like an evolution. Like it's the most. I think it's very jarring at first, but in a good way, and then you get used to it, so then it stops being so jarring. But because the old 10 years ago Bleach to now is like, holy crap, they learned some shit. But meanwhile, like One Piece or something like that, you're watching literally every week they learn something new when they're animating or whatever. So
Bleach and Naruto were both weekly when they first came out.
but yeah, but like this one had just like a full like 10-year now we're here sort of thing, and One Piece was like the only one that really like was consistent throughout the entire 10 years that it was gone.
Yeah, Bleach, in all fairness, I think it was kind of pseudo canceled.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's kind of like this of you didn't see much for 10 years. It took a while for them to come back and be like, "Okay, I think people have waited long enough." But so your thoughts on Jinzu, I know you didn't watch all of it, obviously, but when it came to that first part, from what you saw, what did you think?
It felt like a nice return to form with a huge budget.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
It was a return of like what, because like for me watching, like this is my first time like watching Bleach, so like for me this was like I had to wait, like how long did I have to wait for this to come out?
Not long actually.
Yeah.
I think just a couple months because
Yeah,
of the fact that you watched the show as it was coming out.
Yeah, and it
Can we
was
go back to Audacity so we just keep an eye
yeah.
in case it like stopped recording.
Well, what's wrong?
No, it can happen. We could actually click
put
a
it
button
over.
and then
Put it
just-
over on his screen if we're gonna.
If we do that, yeah, I think it's a good do. I think that's a good idea. But yeah, this new arc of Bleach, it's not like we were gone for 10 years, so let's talk about what happened. No, it's like it picks up right where it left off. There's no lull. There's just everybody's just kind of been chilling out, and then the new thing happens. It's literally just the next arc of Bleach, and what it brings to the table is probably one of my favorite like additions of finally describing and giving us a bit of backstory on the Quincy's, and a lot more on that
the
too.
World.
And that too.
Yeah, it gave us backstory really on the world itself. Of the world of Bleach, it's been explored here and there, but not by much. Like we know the existence of stuff, but we don't know the reason for the existence of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in all fairness, this is the arc that really, okay, it's we basically get the it's the creation myth from Catholics. There you go.
Hey.
Feels weird to call it a myth, but that's technically what you call it for religions.
Is it?
Technically. So, yeah, we got this whole. For me, honestly, it has been a trip. It was a trip to go back and watch all of Bleach again. It was a trip to see all this stuff that it still did fantastic, and then to actually watch them with an even bigger budget, a modern animation crew, just so damn good. It was so damn cool. Is the best way I can describe it.
It finally
has-
it did the thing that like being so cool and all that kind of stuff. It did the thing that I was kind of having my issue with Bleach, where it's like this really adult, like the more mature of the big three and all that kind of stuff, but then random joke thing or like just derailing topic or something like that, and it's just like, oh my god, can you focus? And then, but in this new anime, like the new version of the anime, it definitely got rid of a bunch of that, but it still like has like elements of it.
Mayhem is currently looking at Rongiku's titties.
I'm not looking anymore.
I will alt for this fucking. Alt F4.
But yeah, it's this new version of Bleach, I would say, is definitely it's definitely elevated Bleach in my ranking of it. Like it's definitely made it so much better in my eyes.
So, to get into some of the plot of this, I want to get into this of I can kind of sum this up fairly quickly.
Hey.
So in the part 1, we basically have the introductions of the Quincy's. We thought for the longest time that the Quincy's were just gone.
That it was just
Yeah. That
Uchiha?
like they were extinct. Yeah, that's actually a great way to
What?
explain it. They're like the Uchihas gone.
What? Who?
the
Quincy's.
No.
For the longest time we thought that though. Of that they were just kind of gone, wiped out.
Oh yeah.
So
We're starting at the beginning.
it's during Thousand Year Blood War is when we realized that they weren't wiped out. That there are a shit ton of Quincy's out there.
Yeah.
Like
And-
Ishida.
Yeah, like the Uchihas.
No, look, like Ishida, like
Oh,
Udio.
like Ishida.
Udio.
Yeah.
They're both
That's
voiced
his
by.
name.
They're both voiced by fucking Sasuke.
Yeah.
At least in Japanese. I don't know
In
if
Japanese, that's cool.
I don't know if Yuri Lowenthal is.
No,
is
it's not
Ishida's
Yuri
voice.
Lowenthal in the English. Let me check real
He
quick.
totally could be though.
He could have
He
been.
could have
He
been.
could have been. I hadn't my back.
Catch.
I'm done. I'm done looking up distractions.
Oh god!
But yeah, just this evolution of Bleach is just I really think that Bleach is now like if they went back with this art style and kind of like redid, but I would hope that Studio Pro would be like, hey guys, so we see how poopy bad the art style is at the beginning of Bleach because it was made in the early 2000s and 90s. We're just gonna reanimate all that real fast. And the ratio is bad and all that kind of stuff. I would love that if they just went back with this new art style and just remastered everything.
Yeah, remasters are always kind of weird. For me at least, like sometimes it's a mixed bag. Like One Piece has some remasters where unfortunately they skip a lot of stuff.
They skip things, yeah. I think Bleach it definitely is a lot shorter, so they definitely would be able to do that. They could take out filler and basically just have the actual story and have this amazing animation. I think they could do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot more possible than One Piece, I'll say.
Okay. I looked it up because I was curious. Ishida has two voices. The voice actor, two voices that Jinzu you would remember. One, the bug kid from Naruto. Shino, I think his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shino. He's voiced by the same guy as Uryu, and Vmon.
Alright.
That was a very angry. Okay.
But you hear that voice that Vmon has, and it's like, yeah, that's Uryu apparently in English.
I have to tell my sister that. I have to tell my sister that. Because she's watching Bleach right now with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And like she's catching him up to like everything because he wanted to watch the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, but she was like, wait,
There's context you
Did
need.
she's like, wait, did you watch everything before that? And he was like, no. She was like, bitch. And so he's been catching up on it every time he's over. I see him just sitting on it with like his fucking huge ass flip phone.
That
just,
is
just fucking watching it.
Oh, the smartphone flip phone?
Yeah.
related to something Jinsu said a second ago of when it comes to people who have sat through and watched the entire show and then some big moment's about to happen and other people go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump in right now. And the reaction that I always do kind of like is, motherfucker, I sat through all this, you're gonna sit through all this.
You're gonna have to experience it the same way I did, but I'll take out the filler because I know that that's bullshit.
No, some people will legitimately say, screw you, I sat through this shit, you will sit through this shit.
You will not watch it until 10 years from now.
Growing up as a kid, my sister would watch the show without me and then get mad at me for watching the show without her.
Oh, God.
And then, but she would like finish the end of the arcs, and then I would just like be like, well, whatever, and then just like watch the beginning of the next arc. So I keep thinking that I only finished Bleach at like the Ironka arc, but I got to like the
You got the full
I got to no, not the Fullbring. I didn't get. I was like not the Gans. Sometime after the Ironka arc, I forget. It was like an arc or two after.
Oh, was it that one where it was like the Zanpakuto spirits?
It was right before that. We were about to get to that.
We were about to get that. Okay.
Yeah. We never did that.
Mm.
They had to like move away for it, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
Experiencing.
Yeah. I always think that I didn't like finish the. I always thought I stopped somewhere in the Ironka arc, and then I just completely forgot about Bleach. But I
Yeah.
actually just kind of like I would just not finish the ending of it, and then my sister would just tell me about it. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
Wow, that sounds
But
amazing.
with 1,000-Year Blood War, I did just jump into it, and I totally skipped a couple arcs because I was like, I don't care.
The cool thing is, this one
It's-
actually does feel like you can kind of skip.
It feels like
If you like Bleach and you want to jump back into Bleach, hey, you're an adult now.
it's like the time skip of One
Yeah!
Piece. It's like the time skip of One Piece where it's like, here's where a lot of introduced things are the most like casual that you're not like, so, about. It's like, here's this thing. Oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then there's this guy over here. That's Chad. Hi.
watching Bleach and like watching that final arc. Oh man, I'm 13 years old. I'm so excited for the next season. 23 now. But yeah, when it comes to this arc, it's got a lot of good fan service for the people of not that kind of fan service. Fan service for the people that really liked the original series and really liked certain characters that showed up here and there. Like, best example is a character that showed up again that is wild that he showed up was the brother of the big titty lady with the cannon in the first season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jinsu, you remember that character, the big titty lady with the cannon that was able to shoot them into Soul Society?
The fire lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, her brother returns in this arc.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
He shows up at the end of part 2. He joins the party. He joins the main party, yeah.
His uncle?
Just like before.
His uncle, who he looks exactly like?
Yeah. It's so cool to see that, and another character that shows up where we only have heard their voice so far was Grimjow.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Grimjow shows up?
He survived.
That's wild!
Isn't he on our side now?
Yeah, he's on the good guys' side now. Apparently, Urahara. It's Urahara and Mitsuri. No, Mayuri. Sorry. Those are the two that worked on basically getting a wrong car onto their side.
Really?
In Mayuri's case,
What the fuck did he do?
made them into zombies, basically. I've brought them back to life. If they don't listen to me, I can electrocute them.
I can absolutely obliterate their mind.
It's pretty damn
What?
Mayuri,
I
yeah.
Reanimated them.
Yeah, I will say the 4 that he brought back, I'm so happy that he brought them back. It's so funny. But meanwhile, Urahara, I'm guessing Grimjow actually, yeah, he did just live.
Yeah.
He didn't die.
Bleach does the One Piece where he doesn't actually kill them, and after Ichigo beats them into the ground, except for a few characters. Yeah. But yeah, Ichigo does actually kill, but the characters he doesn't kill actually like come back and are like, all right, he bait me, I like him, and this new threat is gonna destroy both of us if I don't help.
It's basically the kind of thing where there are technically exceptions to this rule of like if he kills somebody, they can kind of come back. They're in the spirit world. The only one that doesn't come back are people in the spirit world that die.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that can't come back. So examples are like the Fullbringers, like all the different Fullbring from Execute. They show up, and like you see just basically them walking away as they've basically been training to help out against the Quincy's.
We helped.
Of like they're going to help, basically, is the idea. And so you get to see them, and it's like, wait, but didn't they all fucking die except for like Jackie and the video game kid?
Yeah.
And pink hair girl. Well, yeah, but they died. Where do you go when you die?
To
the spirit world. So it's kind of that weird thing of just like the only exception being stuff like Ulquiorra. Ulquiorra is the only one where I can think of that
actually
Ichigo actually killed him. Oh, Gin is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gin and Ulquiorra are like the few people that have actually died, and you know they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
Unless you get the next arc. Welcome to hell. Yeah.
But let's get started into the story of Bleach.
We get, basically, the way it starts is we have 2 new Soul Reapers showing up to replace the guy with the afro that was the Soul Reaper in charge of Karakuri Town.
Yeah.
And they begin to start, like, getting ready to do their whole mission thing, getting ready to do their thing. And they are immediately attacked by some really powerful hollows that almost kill them until Ichigo and the gang show up, returning great fashion. Every last one of them is attractive, goddamn. And they show up and clean the fucking house. Chad has one of the coolest ones, I still say, of like, Ichigo's is a great Bankai, but Chad's is still the fucking coolest of just punching one of the hollows into a building, and as it disappears into the distance, you don't hear much of a sound, you just hear and a fucking skull appears on the building.
Chad is... He always is, but now he's, like, he's able to last on his own now.
Chad, what are you doing here? I'm the sex appeal.
I am.
That's kind of what it is. They really did just say, "Oh, why is the Mexican guy here? He's the sex appeal."
And also,
Me? Represent! Represent my people!
Chad is amazing. I love Chad.
Chad's fucking awesome. Orihime, she's got her usual healing powers. Uryu shows up, and he's all cool, showing up and showing his bow and arrow per usual. Ichigo's got his Bankai. They save those two, what are they, Soul Reapers, and take them home, and as they're hanging out talking, a Quincy ends up showing up, going, "Oh yes, Ichigo Kurosaki, I'm not here, I am here to fight you. I will be able to win," and then gets kicked in the face out the window.
I am fine!
Told you not to sit on my bed! Don't stand on my bed.
This is my fucking bed.
And so, you get a fight with that. Meanwhile, Soul Society, we get the beginning of the invasion of the Soul Society.
Yep.
As the number one, as the Squad 1's lieutenant gets shot and impaled into the wall in front of Captain of Squad 1. And, yeah, Yamamoto's fucking pissed. As all the Quincy's show up in front of him, I'm just like, "This is our declaration of war. If you don't leave my office in the next 5 seconds, you will all burn to death."
You will all fucking die. He has the firepower that I always want from a character, but I'm always worried about how it would be done in a show. And Yamamoto is absolutely doing what I wanted to see. And he gets to full on show off his firepower and strength.
Yeah.
And his fight that he has.
Can't wait to talk about that.
That
so good. It's
fight.
I will say it is my top 3 favorite fights of all time.
So good.
So we move on. We get to see Ichigo having his fight with the Quincy dude, realizing that this is Quincy and just being like, "What the hell? I thought Uryu was the last one." And so has his whole fight with this guy, and he uses his Bankai, and the guy's like, "Yes, use your Bankai," and then his machine that he was using to steal Bankais doesn't work. It gets broken
because
and he's just like, "Oh no!"
Because why does it break? Because
I'll talk about Ichigo later and his kind of bullshit. That actually, this is actually funny enough. The reason why Lanny stopped reading the manga.
Really?
Yeah, Lanny Pator stopped reading the manga because of this. I'll talk about it in a minute. But so yeah, Ichigo is immune to the steel. And so what ends up happening is he talks to everybody else, and they're just like, "Man, this is wild." And then they get the news that Squad 1's lieutenant is dead.
Dead.
Yeah, dead. And so everybody bumps up the security, and as they're trying to handle everything in the world of the living, 2 characters end up returning and falling onto Ichigo as he's moping. It is, what is his name? Pesci?
Pesci, yep.
Pesci is the skinny one, right?
Yep.
Okay. And Deliel to what is her fucking last name?
It's just Nell. She's the small. When she's small, she's just Nell.
It's just Nell.
When she's powered
it's short
up,
for Nell. Nell for short.
Odelschfunk or whatever.
Yeah, Odelschfunk, yeah. that is funny.
Jinzu, you're messing up the audio by sneezing. He's still sneezing. He doesn't care. He's just sneezing. I'm like,
I do like that when it comes down to it, that is kind of the joke of just like Neliel to Odelschfunk, Nell for short, and it's when she's short.
It's when she's short, yes.
I do like that joke. It is fun. But yeah, so she pops in and basically is like, "Oh hey, so a Hollow World is kind of fucked. Hueco Mundo's kind of fucked up." And it's like, "Oh wait, what do you mean?"
Turns out
Quincy's took it over.
Turns out the Crusaders, the crusading people,
went to Limbo
and actually messed everything up and
kidnapped Tyr Harabel.
And now Limbo is fucked.
How did you like the information that Tyr Harabel, the dark-skinned chick with the big tits, she was the leader now?
I'm glad she wasn't showed off because she would have been too powerful in this new art style.
She was shown off.
Damn it. I forgot about that. She's too powerful. Oh god, now he's pulling up the images. But yeah, I do like when Bleach does this the best, where it's like established world. The next threat happens. The established world has to take care of the new threat. Then they start coexisting. New threat happens. The old world has to take care of the threat, and then they start working together. And now this is the new thing with the Quinn season. So the Arankar, the Fullbring, and the Soul Society, they all finally start working together, and the fact that the Arankars are also actually like, oh my god! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That this world is slowly, like, everybody has to fight at first before they can finally become friends.
That is
Allies,
I
not
will
friends.
say that is the thing I like about shonen in general. Of if you fight somebody and you win, you don't specifically have to be friends, but you definitely have earned their respect.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the main message of shonen. Of in all
Beat
fairness,
up people to make them your friends!
well, that's the funny thing when you think about it. It's a genre that's meant for young boys, and that's kind of a thing that happens with young boys.
That they
There's
beat the
so
shit
many
out of each other.
One of my best friends in the world, we fucking fought like rabid animals.
Why would you? That's such a weird description. So listen, kids.
If you got a bully, beat the shit out of him, and then you'll be best friends.
Stand up for yourself.
That's a better message.
Yeah, no. The actual message would
Dujitsu's message, not Dupes.
The actual message would be, yeah, no, if you stand up for yourself, sometimes that earns a lot of respect from people.
Yes.
Yeah, not schools, but people.
Oh my god, this kid protected himself. Evil. Suspend him.
I do like that is kind of the message of shonen in general of if you beat me in a fight, you earn my respect. So examples you got are just like quick ones, villains in like One Piece of like think of Crocodile
Yep.
that he was like I'm going to defend Luffy in this occasion because of like
He's way out of his league.
yeah, basically. But other ones like Naruto and Bleach have like better examples. The best example is Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
number
it's
of
Dragon
friends
Ball.
that Goku has that try to kill him.
The fact that Frieza's like now kind of like
Maybe a new the main villain again.
he might be the main villain again, but
But there was a period where it's like, I guess I'm here now.
yeah, there was at least like a tiny switch that happened, and it's just like that the fact that Goku was able to do that was enough
Yeah.
of a sign.
Meanwhile, it was Tenshinhan tried to kill him. You got Piccolo
Piccolo.
tried to kill him. You got Vegeta tried to kill him. You got Beerus tried to kill him.
I think Vegeta absolutely filled in the role that Akira Toriyama was trying to do with Raditz, because he's basically his brother.
Oh yeah.
Vegeta and Goku are basically brothers.
Yeah. So, to move on, so Ichigo and the gang get to go to Quake Mundo once more alongside Urahara, who he always overheard the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's always the case. But you're like, how did you know that we needed your help? Well, I had a feeling. Also, somebody fell out of a hole in the sky.
How the fuck was I supposed to not see that?
His surfer bro accent is so goddamn thick this arc. Holy shit, Urahara, you remember how he sounded in the dub, right? Originally?
Or if you did you watch it, Bleach and sub or
You
dub?
mentioned you watched it dub and sub.
I did watch. I would swap.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Do you remember Urahara's voice in English?
Yeah.
Yeah. How he's kind of like surfer bro-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so heavy accented in this one of surfer bro accent.
He's like a couple steps away from number 15.
I also
it is
watched.
so close to that.
I also watched the Japanese dub of Pokemon, and the voice actor for James is Urahara's voice in
Oh, that's great.
in Bleach, and it's so it's really nice watching Bleach and then hearing James just be like, oh, like how he is in the fucking in Pokemon.
I know the unfortunate thing is he's got basically the same voice, but unfortunately the reason why they had to change the voice actor is because the previous voice of Urahara actually passed away.
Yeah.
So, but they got it surprisingly close.
Yeah, it's very
Like
close.
same kind of surfer bro.
And yeah, they got him.
We will not get into the whole Wendy Lee thing. We will not get into it. Yeah.
I didn't even want to say it.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. So we get the main party goes to Hueco Mundo to fight off Quincy's in there, while the spirit world, Soul Society, is having some trouble as they're trying to mourn the loss of their ally Oh fuck! All of Soul Society is now being invaded.
Yep.
We get a bunch of crazy ass fights with different Quincy's. We get to see some of their insanity. Specifically, we get to see that there's a group of about 26 characters total, as we can guess later on, that are all
the
based on
alphabet.
letters.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
alphabet.
The English alphabet. And so you get to see all kinds of examples of bizarre ones.
There's one character. He's literally just Lao G. G.
There's a character whose entire thing is based on fear. There's a character who just has a gun.
For G.
There's a character with big titties.
For B.
B for boobies.
No, for big.
Yeah. But you get all kinds of characters like that.
And for H. For humana.
We get the one with the fear got to fight Byakuya. He fucked him up. We
Yeah,
get the one with,
it's mainly because of the fact that they have this whole thing where they steal their bankais.
yeah.
That was a whole thing that they started setting up. And didn't they steal Ichigo's?
No.
Wait, yeah.
They didn't
Oh,
steal
yeah,
Ichigo
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's immune.
Yeah.
But the ones that they did steal, I will say this: it is funny because Mayuri actually fucking messages them and says, "Don't use your bankais."
I'm gonna use my bankai.
I'm gonna use my bankai just in case. And then his name's Byakuya, right?
The brother.
Yes.
Thousand Kageyoshi.
Yeah.
Senbon Sakura.
Yeah.
Senbon Sakura. Yeah.
Yeah, they steal it.
Yeah, they steal it.
And he's just like, oh man, who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, and Renji almost got his stolen.
Yeah.
But so his gets stolen by the guy.
Stealen?
His gets stolen by the guy who's based around fear, in the bondage mask. The wolf captain, he gets his bankai stolen by Bambi. That's her name. And who was the other? The other two, I think it was where it was Soifon. She got hers stolen. I don't really care. I'll be honest. And finally, it was
Hers was the most boring one.
Rocket.
She had a fun one, but her character was the thing that was awful. I'll say that.
They were too conflicting to
Yeah.
actually like have something that you cared about.
You know what else was conflicting? The fact that she was a bad character.
But
But the other one was the ice captain,
Ice.
Hitsugaya.
Hitsugaya with the ice dragon.
Yeah, his got stolen by just some random fucker.
Another one, yeah.
And so you got all these people getting their stuff stolen, and it was the guy with the 69 tattoo on his face was about to be killed by this Quincy who had stolen the bankai from the first squad lieutenant. And so that's when Yamamoto shows up and goes, "Oh, you stole my lieutenant's bankai. Goodbye," and just erases the man.
I'm going to absolutely fucking kill you.
I've made the joke before of erase the man
You-
when killing them.
Yep.
I mean it literally here. He literally waves up fire, and then you watch as all his skin goes away, and then his bones evaporate.
He's
Huh.
got some fire. And he's
And
the old
he's
man.
pissed.
And
I know.
And he's the old man. He's
Yeah.
the old man. So his power is obviously going to be way better. And then he's going to summon the sun.
Yes. This gives me a chance to mention, I forgot to mention him earlier, but it was after Ichigo's bankai was almost stolen, but not. The people that basically had the mission of go out and do reconnaissance for the Quincy, they come back to the king of the Quincy's, Yuhabaha.
That's how they pronounce it. That's not how they spell it.
It's spelled Ywach.
a very unique
I thought it was
name.
Yawatch.
Yawatch.
Show me Yawatch.
Yeah, Yuabaha. And in the English, he is voiced by Joseph Joestar.
Yeah, it's so good.
And that's all that I hear whenever he talks.
Actually, he differentiates it enough for me to be able to go, that's fucking good.
But
He's got a good, like, bellowing voice.
Yeah, like it doesn't ruin it, but it's just like, what if Joseph became a bad guy?
What if Joseph was Adolf Jesus?
I'm just don't do that. But just in my brain, I'm just waiting for Yuabaha for whenever something happens to him that he just goes, "Oh my god!"
That's kind of close of, oh my soul king! And so
Yuabaha, what a character!
so fucking cool.
He's really cool.
The way to show how badass he is is his introduction in the Soul Society, where he comes in and he's like, okay, well, it looks like our invasion's going well, and Kenpachi shows up,
Hey.
and he's just like, oh, hey, looks like you're the boss. Well, I was making my way to you, and I managed to find like 3 other guys. There was one guy who, kept talking about his power, trying to explain it, so I ripped his tongue out. There was another guy who, he was doing this stupid thing, so I just killed him. And then there was one guy who kind of just became me, and so I just became stronger than what he thought I was, and killed him.
This area also gives Kenpachi some really good development.
Yeah. So we get to see that, and it's like Kenpachi just like, oh, I'm ready to fight the big boss now. And Kenpachi loses.
Loses. Absolutely.
He fully loses to Yuabaha.
Yep.
And after that, that's when Yamamoto shows up of just like, yeah, you're not killing my one of my children. As a fucking meteor, essentially, is what he is, firing his way over to Yuabaha.
Yeah.
And he sees King of the Quincy's and begins his fight, which is the best fight in the show.
It's so good.
My favorite fight in almost any show, period. Like, there's so few fights I could think of that go above that, and it's only ones that I have real big connection to, like the Lucci fight in One Piece. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is so fucking good! Such a good display of his power.
And since it's the new animated, newly updated animation from Studio Pro, it's so good. And then can we talk about his released Bankai? What is
Yes.
it to?
The cardinal directions.
What it does is that, like, so while he's doing like his regular like stuff, like it's really hot fire and woo.
I think that's north.
Yeah, and
The usual released flames.
Yeah, the one that I mainly just want to talk about before we move on is just the all of a sudden it all turns off as it all went into his sword, and his sword is literally like the surface of the sun, and it is
Crackling.
it is so cool.
It dries out Soul Society.
Yeah,
It
it's literally
is so bad that some people's lips are cracking.
It's literally destroying the Soul Society while he's using it.
Yeah. And he ends up showing off how powerful it is as he swings his sword at Yuabaha, slices a bit of his hair off, taps the ground, taps it, and erases everything that was there.
It's one of those, like, it's a really good, like, split-second deletion sort of animated, like
Yes.
one of those kind of moments in animation. And it's so good.
He keeps swinging it he eventually cuts Yuabaha's sword and everything.
Yeah.
And he's just showing how powerful this is. And he's like, okay, now to move on to the next one. As he goes, I think west was for the next one, where he raises the zombies that he's created. He raises the people that he's killed.
Using the entire, like, the whole entire mythology belief system of when the sun sets and that kind of stuff, it's the land of the dead becomes closest to the earth and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So he basically is a pyromancer and a necromancer. Yeah, they're both at the same time. It's very Dark Souls, his power. And you know how much I like that.
Yeah, Solar Necros.
Yeah.
It's so damn cool, and you get to see this quick, basically, flashback to what Yamamoto was before. Yamamoto, in the past, when he was a part of Squad, the original Gote 13, when he was a part of the original 13 Court Guard squads, they were all savage murderers.
Yep.
Every last one of them.
They had terrible powers. They ruled with an iron fist. They were absolutely, like, a very harsh society of, like, just the worst people imaginable.
The crazy thing, we see more of them in the anime than we actually do see in the manga. That is how crazy that is. We see, like, nothing of the original squad.
Yeah.
But here, we get to see that they were butchers.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they were. It was Yamamoto being one of the worst of them. When it came to the Quincy's, when they were like, okay, we're going to fight the Soul Society, they were wiped out.
Yeah.
1,000 years ago, they were wiped out.
The original members of the squad, of the 13th squads, were more powerful than any of the Quincy's, and were the reason why the Quincy's had to go into hiding.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get to another part of this original Shinigami's basically later on.
Yeah.
We get,
But
as
meanwhile,
Yamamoto comes back, we get his unfortunate death.
he dies.
I will say that. It is so sad as he believes that he's finally killed Yuabaha after their battle 1,000 years ago, and he did not. As it is revealed that the person that he was fighting was actually the guy that fought Kenpachi and faked his death, that was able to transform into Kenpachi. He transformed into Yuabaha, and using the amount of strength that he believed that his king had, and ended up dying. And so Yuabaha comes in, slices Yamamoto in half, and moves on to say farewell to one of his children.
Yeah. So Yamamoto is dead.
Now, to switch over to what Ichigo is doing, Ichigo has managed to find where all the Arrancar are that have been taken by the Quincy's, and he gets into this heated fight with this guy who is like a fucking monster. Like, that's his entire thing of, like, he's very prim and proper at first, but the moment he transforms using his Quincy powers, he becomes a monster.
Yeah.
And so,
that's the thing with the Quincy's and their powers is like when they're not
they eat reishi, which is everything.
Yeah, that when they don't use their power, like they're very hygienic, like they look like they're very clean. They have all white clothes and all that kind of stuff. Their uniforms and all that kind of stuff. But when they start using their powers, that's when like the cracks start to show in their facade of purity and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Pepe. We'll talk about you later.
Ugh.
But yeah, so Ichigo hears that there's some problems going on. He beats the Quincy and then tries to escape, which is when we get to see the actual power of the Quincy, prison.
Yep.
So he imprisons him between worlds so that he can't get to Soul Society. And as he's imprisoned, he just has to hear all these different Soul Reapers die.
Yeah.
He watches lights flicker out. And eventually he does get to escape, but the build up to this is we get to see what Yuhabaha was doing. He spoke to Aizen.
Yep.
He spoke to Aizen of just like, hey, I'm going to destroy Soul Society. You want to join me? Fuck you.
Fuck you, Quincy. You're Quincy. Fuck you. I hate you. I
You're
hate you.
Quincy. I built for this day. I built for this day, you bitch.
I always like it when this perceived really bad guy actually turns out that like everything that he was doing was not just for overkill, it was actually for this bigger threat.
That's what Aizen is. Aizen has always been the plan guy. We get Ichigo is pissed and eventually breaks out of the prison somehow. We find out later why. And he gets to go to the Soul Society, and that's the point that kind of made me laugh when he pops in. We get a camera shot of his vision basically as he sees all these dying Soul Reapers. You even see the scientist guy that helped him out.
Yeah.
Like he shows up there, and luckily he doesn't die as we see later on, but he was fucked up. And in fact, it was kind of interesting that the science division got all messed up specifically by the gatekeeper dude that lost his arm to Gin.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was kind of a cool nod to the past.
This arc does a lot of really good like callbacks. Especially to the early eras of Bleach.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is you see from his vision as he looks up into the corner of the room, and you see a Quincy. Ah, so you've arrived. So my name is this, and my power is as he fucking dies to Ichigo. Ichigo obliterates the man. He dies instantly. What did I do?
He's fantasizing biting you.
No. When you screamed, you timed it perfectly with the fucking cat.
Yeah, well, we get to see Ichigo in his he's killed this Quincy. He rockets over to what's the name of Rukia's brother?
Byakuya.
Byakuya, okay. Just making sure. He rockets over to Byakuya, and Byakuya, to mirror the time that he told him to leave the Soul Society, to never enter the Soul Society, he says, please save the Soul Society.
Yeah.
As he cannot. And
because I'm fucking incompetent.
What do you think? Do you think he should have died there?
Byakuya?
Yeah.
I'm very glad he didn't.
He could have.
He could have.
But I like
Increase the
Byakuya.
death toll.
I like Byakuya, and I think I was actually worried that he would die But I'm glad that he didn't, because I do like when a character when there's at least one I'm too cool for this guy in the good guy group and that kind of
He
stuff.
needs to be there at Rukia's wedding in the future. Yeah.
He needs to hand off Rukia to Renji.
Yeah.
To me. It should have been me.
Yeah, he needs to hand off Rukia to me. But yeah, so hands off protection to Ichigo. Ichigo rockets off to Yuhabaha, who has this whole talk with him of, "Are you the one that did it?" Oh yes. Monologue. Did you do it? Yeah. Epic fight that is not in the manga.
That's the best part about Studio Pro also, is just, I want a cool fight. Let's make a cool fight.
Yeah. Have an epic fight, and then as they finish up their fight, Ichigo gets fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he seemed to be standing his ground until it's just like, I take this seriously now. Almost kills him.
And
goes to leave,
Yeah.
and as he's leaving, Ichigo tries one last time to swing his Bankai at him, and gets his Bankai broken.
It's broken. The sword is destroyed.
We might have to split this into 2 parts, I will say.
You want to? Yeah, I think we
Might.
should. Yeah.
Yeah. But as his Bankai is broken, Yuhabaha goes to leave and says, I will see you later, my son in the dark.
Yep.
My son born in the dark.
And
he's like, what the fuck does that mean?
And I saw that sword getting broken, and I was just like, it was so bittersweet, because, oh my god, this sword that we've had forever is broken. But also, Ichigo's the main character. He's gonna have an awesome sword. He's gonna get a new sword!
Can't wait to talk about that!
Yeah.
So, we move on of, everybody is collecting the dead, everybody is beginning to calm down, try to relax of like, oh my god, we all almost got fucking killed.
Yeah.
And as they're
We are
doing
weak!
this, as they're doing this, Ichigo goes to Mayuri, who explains, like, oh, no, you're fucked. Like, wait, what?
You can't repair that Bankai.
You can't repair a Bankai. You can repair a Shikai. You can repair a Zanpakuto. Can't repair a Bankai, dumbass.
Completely broken.
And so Ichigo is all devastated at this knowledge.
But wait,
luckily,
he's the main character.
Plenty of people ended up living. And we then get the arrival of Squad Zero.
Yeah.
Which, in the first part, we don't really see much of, or we don't really know much of.
Yeah.
All we know is what we're basically shown here of, they're fucking goofballs when they show up.
We have been in this high in the royal palace for so long. We've refined our arts to such a degree. Let's just have fun.
You've heard the phrase dad lore. These guys are the definition of grandpa lore.
Grandpa lore.
I know that feeling of like when you're hanging out with your grandpa and then suddenly he just drops a bit of knowledge from his past and you're just like, you met who? You met when? Where? Wait, you went to Texas in 1960?
Whoa! Whoa!
What was it like meeting the president?
Distant.
Very distant. He seemed handsome through the scope.
Scope?
There's a part of me that wouldn't be surprised.
Why? Don't say that!
I'm joking. You know I'm joking.
Don't even say that! Your grandpa did not kill anybody in the United States. A president?
Keep changing the phrase, my man.
Make another alteration.
Yeah. So anyway, grandpa lore aside, so we get to see Squad Zero as they're just like, hey, so we're gonna take these guys, and they take Renji, Byakuya, Rukia, and Ichigo, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna take these guys. What? You can't take them. They're sick and all this. Like they could die. Is like, we are Squad Zero. Do you think that they would die in our arms?
Do you fucking think that we're stupid?
Yeah. So they take them to go train, and we get the whole training montage of them, of basically going through each of the Squad Zero members to be able to improve and get stronger. Meanwhile, in the Soul Society, we get Kenpachi Zaraki getting to be stronger.
And also,
The reveal of the first Kenpachi, who was...
the healer lady.
Name!
No.
Name.
Hot lady.
What was her name?
Nurse lady.
Jinzu, what was her name?
The head of the healer Soul Reapers.
I know what it was, but I'm seeing if he could get it.
You?
He will not.
You?
Oh, it's Unohana.
Unohana.
Oops. Did you not remember it either?
I almost said Urahara.
Unohara.
It's Unohana is apparently the first Zaraki. But yeah, we get to the reveal that
It's
Unohana...
Tsunade.
Tsunade was the first Zaraki. No, Unohana was the first Zaraki, and apparently she was the most bloodthirsty.
And
The reason she learned medical stuff is so that she could repair you upon death.
Yep.
And then kill you again.
And put Kenpachi into this Doctor Strange like sort of trial thing so that he could get better and eventually unlock his Bankai.
I will say this. Kenpachi was not put in a Doctor Strange one. He was put because Doctor Strange implies a time loop.
Oh yeah.
This was not a time loop. He kept dying.
Yeah, he was actually dying.
She was so strong she could kill Kenpachi easily. So she kept bringing him back, until eventually he killed her. We get to see their whole story of basically it was this kind of thing of like they literally define it as my first love.
Yeah.
That is their story. Of the first person I ever fell in love with, as in how strong they were, that was my first love.
Yeah.
They're the definition of fight sexual.
And the fact I
This is
really
the most
liked
intimate fight I've ever seen.
I really liked this setup and development of Kenpachi and Unohana because they're the adults. You don't really get a bunch of development for adults in anime, especially shonen. But here's this quick little arc for Kenpachi, a character that everybody loves. Everybody loves Kenpachi. So good, such a great character. And this is the first time that he actually like lost this badly because he was so hindered by the fact that he didn't have his Bankai unlocked and all that kind of stuff. So here comes the one who trained him, the one who is the whole reason why he is at the level that he's able to be, elevating him even more.
Turns out his backstory is basically that as a kid he went to fight her. Great fucking moment of she's searching for some mysterious disappearances basically.
A lot of people just keep dying for some reason.
As she's looking around, like, oh, she was looking for a fight. That's what it was. She was looking for a fight, and one of her squad members said, Lady Unohana, we're trying to find them. We really are. So can you please not create a mountain of corpses? A mountain of what? And she turns around, and that's how quickly this mountain of corpses appeared. That was Kenpachi.
Hey,
Kenpachi,
you look strong down there.
You see him holding a Zanpakuto from that he had stolen, and he just lunges at her, and they had this amazing fight that apparently Kenpachi won, but because that fucked him up mentally of I will never have a fight like this again.
Yep.
He then lowered himself to the bare minimum, so that in the future he could be able to fight people like this. And every time he was on the edge, every time they edged him, he grew stronger.
Oh no! he basically had the Zenkai
It's true!
from Saiyans.
I also did say he was fight sexual.
Yeah. But,
so I mean that very literal.
But yeah, imagine that, Jinsu. Just
every time you
no of just Kenpachi, just his entire setup as just he had one really good fight that he was able to go all out on, that he was actually able to put effort into it. But it was so good and can never happen again that he had to literally nerf himself in order to have any sort of like similar experience ever again.
You know what they say of Kenpachi Zaraki. He grows stronger every time he comes back from the brink of death.
What do you think of that, Jitsu?
What?
Of Kenpachi literally after having one of the best fights of his life, having to nerf himself because no other fight could ever compare to it. That's why Kenpachi like didn't use Bankai and all that kind of stuff, and was just using his strength.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking crazy. I I had one really good fight in Smash Brothers, so I started using
So I nerfed myself
by
and started
using-
using Pichu.
by using only an Atari controller and Mr. Game & Watch.
Imagine you're so good at a video game, you go back to the original Nintendo.
I use Pong, but when the but not using the controller for Pong. When the ball hits my thing, it sends an input to the thing that activates a button for what I want to do in a fight, and I keep winning.
In all fairness, I will say this: I would be very scared if I'm getting ready for a Smash tournament, and then the guy next to me pulls out a fucking Atari controller.
Yeah.
Controller.
Controlly?
Controlly.
An Atari controlly?
Game & Watch is probably the one character you could actually play with an Atari controller for Smash.
And imagine he beats you. Imagine that man beats you.
And imagine he beats you with that.
Well, yeah, all you need is luck and to get the judgment.
No, he grabbed the controller and beat you with it.
Oh, okay. completely
Also works.
ruins the metaphor, but alright.
Well, still Kenpachi in all fairness.
It is Kenpachi, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so we get to see him grow stronger, and it is a very actually beautiful moment of him finally beating her and just watching her die. It is genuinely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the fact they made such a horrifying moment, like elegance, give it elegance and beauty.
Give it the
was
respect
incredible.
it deserved, really.
It was more beautiful than what people describe Byakuya's Bankai as. That's the best way to put
Yeah.
it. Like the moment of her hair falling as she finally passes, and she's like, you truly are the heir of the Zaraki name."
Yeah.
It's so or Kenpachi
And
of the Kenpachi name.
and Kenpachi gets his Bankai.
Not Bankai.
Oh wait, it's
Shikai.
Shikai, yeah.
Shikai is the
second
first
one,
form where it transforms.
Yeah.
And what it is he finally heard the voice. This feminine voice booms out of, "You can finally hear me." And he has achieved his Shikai, which we will see in part 2. And so, moving on from there, we get the training segment where I'll blitz through this as fast as possible. First stage of Ichigo and the rest of them's training is a pool, a spa basically, where you get your blood drained, and then you get thrown into the other pool where you get your blood back in, and over again until you can handle a single punch from the Squad Zero member.
From Josuke.
Yeah, Josuke is what he is. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, so you get basically that. He manages to handle it. Apparently he counterattacked after getting punched by the Squad Zero guy and broke his hand.
So you had to go back to the pool.
No, not Ichigo going back to the pool. No, Josuke had to dip his hand for a few minutes.
Yeah. I forgot.
But we move on to the next stage where it was the big fat lady. She was real nice, cute. Eat my food. It's like, I don't understand why we're supposed to be eating this food. It's training. I accept.
And it's the buffet that I always want to go to. Just the Japanese buffet. Jinzu, you know, like the Japanese, like in anime, like the plates, the giant table of the plates and plates of many different dishes of Japanese cuisine. That's what they all just had to eat it. They had to eat it. It was their training to eat it.
What?
Yeah.
When Ichigo was preparing to get stronger, one of his training methods was,
I remember. Yeah,
all
that
the
shit was
food.
awesome. That
It's
shit made
just
me
like,
hungry.
I'm gonna describe a woman for you and tell me how you feel. Giant woman, motherly figure basically is how she acts.
Yep.
And she'll make you all the food you want. And after she's done cooking, she walks out skinny as hell and the biggest boobs you ever seen.
We could have just had the food part, and that was all that I needed. But
said
then you made it.
You said the food part and I wanted to marry her. You said the rest and now I want the rest.
Now I want dessert.
Now I want more.
Where's the rest of you?
But dude, that was hilarious. Like, I love the fact that she pops out. It's just like, "Oh, you boys ready for the next dish?" She's got her giant spoon, Shikai, and which, yeah, that's her Zanpakuto. Her Zanpakuto is a giant spoon.
Spoon.
Yeah.
Just a spoonful?
Yes.
And she's stronger than any of the 13 leaders.
Yeah.
Squad
Yeah,
leaders.
that's the crazy thing about all the Squad Zero members. They're all like each one of them is stronger than all of Soul Society.
Than all of the captains. They're literally like they're generals basically.
Yeah, there's the captains, then there's the generals, and so we get to see that whole thing. It's real cool of like them getting to eat and have fun, and right afterwards,
After this terrible time that just happened.
okay, Ichigo, let's go! I fucking love this next guy.
The guy who I don't remember his name.
Remember, it's basically imagine if a blacksmith was also a hype man. That's what he is.
As we meet the man who created Zanpakuto's.
And he is bitchin'.
And he Yo, your vibe is very off. You ain't gonna riz up that sword any day of the week.
It's kind of how he talks,
Yeah.
in all fairness.
It's like
a bit
it's
off,
good.
but
It's good that Kubo, the author, made him in the early 2000s and not now.
2010s.
Yeah,
It wasn't early 2000s, it was the 2010s.
Yeah, he made him 10 years
Essentially
ago.
like 2016.
Yeah, you made him right before the changes happened.
Actually, it's not that problematic at all.
Well,
in my opinion.
before like being like that kind of character that like would have been more modern and all that. Kind
That's
of
the
stuff.
thing. Like, most people will tell you right now, he's not problematic in any way. Of like, usually you'd have that kind of character where like
Yeah.
they only talk and rap, and they've got the big red lips, and you're just like,
Huh.
oh no!
No, that's not what I'm talking about at all.
Oh, I thought you were talking about it being like in any way being problematic, and it's like, no, this is perfect character.
I was just saying the hip lingo thing.
Oh, hip lingo.
Like
yeah.
he's
He
old.
sounds like he's from like the 70s.
Yeah, like
the
he's that kind of
early
old,
90s.
Yeah, he's that kind of lingo, not modern day lingo.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Okay. I was gonna say, because I did see one or two people complain about it of like, I can't believe it. It's like, no, this is perfect.
No, he's a good character. I like him. And
He's not a stereotype.
and we discover the hugest thing about Ichigo.
Yeah.
That his Bankai, what was it? Zamastu, what was
No.
it? Zangetsu?
Zangetsu.
Zangetsu. The Zangetsu.
Zamasu.
I just shut up.
Goku Black.
Yeah, it's a but the whole thing, like, it was broken in his last fight, so he had to get a new one. But no sword would actively choose him because his mom was actually a Quincy,
Yep.
and Ichigo was actually a Quincy, and
he had
the
no idea.
And the Zanpakuto that he had, the Zangetsu that he always talked to, was actually his internal Quincy with the connection to Yuabaha.
It's
And Zangetsu is a fragment of Yuabaha.
Yeah.
And that's why he looked so similar.
And then evil Ichigo, Hollow Ichigo, that's the real Zangetsu.
That's the real one. That was the real one. Like, holy shit.
It's so cool. The backstory they give actually is really cool. The whole backstory of essentially back in the day when his dad was still a captain, he ended up coming to the world of living and to hunt down this hollow that had been killing a bunch of people. Turns out it was made by Aizen, and
Yeah, it was
the
another
entire
Aizen,
idea was
yeah.
that it would eventually go after some random some random Soul Reaper, and like try to get stronger and stronger. And lo and behold, as we get to see young Quincy by the name of what was her name, Misaki, I think.
I don't know.
Misaki Kurosaki, the mother of Ichigo, shows up, and
This is how his
she
parents meet.
saves Ishin.
And that's how his parents meet. A Quincy from the human world and a Soul Reaper from the Soul Society.
He was supposed to report her, but he decided not to because
She's
the
hot.
Because she had fat tits. He's like, maybe the Quincy's aren't so bad.
and that's
so-
why, like, Ichigo has always had like some like internal struggle with all of the Soul Society stuff because he was half Quincy the entire time.
Also, Uryu is his cousin.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we get to find out, that apparently Uryu's dad was Ichigo's mom's Masaki's cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They were supposed to become a couple and have like purebred children,
Yeah.
but
Nope.
obviously no. Like he did have feelings for her, but eventually let her go, obviously. But also the way that they show off the fucking hollow that
Oh, yeah.
Aizen made. White was his name.
It was good. It was refreshing to see an old style Hollow after everything's been
Fucking sick looking.
like everybody's been so like animatized and all that kind of stuff, and it's just people getting powered up and all that kind of stuff. It was good.
Lorde.
It was good to see like a really cool looking old style Hollow.
Yeah.
It was really good to see it. But yeah, but that was the Ichigo
Pure
had to
white
learn.
mask with a black figure.
Yeah, and Ichigo had to learn this before he could actually get a true Zanpakuto.
Yeah.
Like, he never had an actual one before this. Like, the huge giant sword that he always had was never actually supposed to be an actual Zanpakuto.
The end of the backstory is basically that Masaki, after helping out, she got bit by White and then killed him. And so later on, she ended up developing some kind of sickness as a result of the bite. And Urahara is the one to inform Ishin and Uryu's dad of what's going on, and says basically the only way to fix this is to have an opposite energy. Basically, it was, I think, human is the opposite of what was it? Human is the opposite of a Shinigami, and hollows are the opposite of Quincy's.
Yeah.
So, in order to handle this, you need the opposite of a hollow. Basically, this whole weird math thing. It's very weird. I'll say that.
It's a diamond, rock, paper, scissors sort of thing, and she needed. Basically, it had to be Ichigo's dad that had to be. What's his name again?
Ishin.
Ishin. It had to be Ishin that.
Oh, that's right. It was basically opposite had to fight opposite in order to protect them.
The mutual.
So you had to have the hollow be fought by a Shinigami, while in the world of the living, outside of it, it was basically a Quincy and a human.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It was a weird little thing, but when you look at it, it makes perfect sense. This world with in Bleach,
it was rock paper scissors, but
both
inside my head.
the world of Bleach absolutely it builds on itself so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like every other world, like they like a power system and all that kind of stuff, they pretty much like establish it almost immediately, or the other half of it halfway through, that kind of thing. And Bleach, on the other hand, it keeps building on it, and every time it builds on it and you get a small reveal, it opens up the window, and you're just like, oh, that makes absolutely perfect sense.
Now moving into the final scene of the first part, which is also one of my favorite scenes. In the background, we get to see all the different captains and lieutenants are training in order to get stronger for the next time that the invasion occurs.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in a few days. And we also, I will mention this of like just a funny note of all characters to get a simple moment that actually improved their character for me. The fat guy from the stealth unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He actually gets a nice quiet moment that made him better for me. Of just, you get to see him as a good big brother.
Yeah.
And the fact that actually improved his character a bit for me, of like, oh, you're not annoying all the time, thank God.
Yeah, you're an actual person. Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's also one of those things where, like, because in the original series he was screaming all the time with his lines.
Always screaming. Ugh.
In this one he was talking normally, so it kind of gave me feels of Zenitsu.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer.
Yep.
How when Zenitsu talks normal, he's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then every other line is screaming. And so, kind of some of that, but...
Anime authors and manga artists...
Please stop.
Stop making the screaming characters, and stop making them also bad characters.
Yeah. So anyway, we get the final scene for Ichigo to go get his new Bankai. He goes in, and it's like, okay, go on in and try to find your Shikai. And as he walks in, every one of the Shikai bows to him.
Yeah.
Everyone bows to him. And he walks all the way past to the very end, and he sees one that raises its hand. And as it raises its hand begins to, like, the skin on the top begins to fall off as it's revealed to be white.
Yeah.
The hollow that had been in him the entire time. And that is his Shikai. And so he takes it and he heads on back over to prepare to have his sword be made. And gorgeous scene if you get to see first off some drop dead gorgeous women show up that are
But
also
that are-
Shikai.
Yeah, that are also Shikai and are the blacksmith's tools.
Yeah. And so all of them begin to work on helping to build his weapon, and he goes into this blazing furnace where he's smacking the weapon, and Ichigo says like, aren't you going to wear some protective goggles to shield your eyes? No, I have to see every strike. I must see every imperfection. And he continues to do it, and as he's doing it, Ichigo gets to have his connection with Zangetsu,
Yeah.
where he gets to see the reveal of that old man Zangetsu was basically a fragment of Yubaha.
Yep. This is where it
And
happens, yeah.
This is where it happens, and it's so well done. Of just you see the almost betrayal it feels from his face of as old man Zangetsu. He basically explains of initially I was planning to kill you if you ever awoke your powers.
Your true Soul Reaper powers.
Then I saw what you were able to do, and so I decided to go against it and protect you instead.
Yeah.
I have to say goodbye, Ichigo, but thank you for your time. And he fades away, and the entire time you hear number one playing in the background. It's so fucking good. I know you have problems with it. It's such a clean moment because of the song. The way it builds with the moment.
Bad song.
And it just builds and builds as he's just jumping through the entire town that he's built himself inside his mind. And as he reaches the end and reaches out for his old man Zangetsu, he reaches into the pits of the flame and pulls out his Zanpakuto, which is 2. He has 2 Zanpakuto.
It's so good, he needs it twice.
One to represent himself as a Shinigami, and one to represent his Quincy powers.
Yep.
As
And-
he owns up to his full potential.
And that is the first part of the 1,000-Year Blood War. We're gonna stop it here because it's a lot to talk about. So we definitely want to kind of not bombard everybody with it. So we'll stop it here as everybody's finally all getting better from the attack and all that kind of stuff and powered up, and Kenpachi's got his thing, Ichigo's got his swords now. And I gotta say, this is a really strong return to Bleach. This is
Yeah.
a really good, like, showing off really good fights that they just wanted to make in the anime that weren't in the manga, and characters coming in and being really strong presences. The Quincy's, oh my god,
Quincy's were insane.
the Quincy's are the antithesis of the Soul Society. While the Soul Society
We
is
get
like
more information about them in part 2. It's so good.
that, like, they are absolutely the exact opposite, the antithesis of the Soul Society.
The one detail we
And-
forgot to mention about Yuhobaha's power, like the whole thing about how he
Yeah.
got so strong.
Yeah.
Basically, it was the whole thing of he was sealed away 1,000 years ago, and after 1,000 years, he regained his power and all this stuff. 90 years later, or no, I think it was 900 years, he regained his mind. After 90 years, he regained his power, which led to 9 years ago is when he regained his power in full, which is when he took the lives of so many Quincy, including Ichigo's mom and Uryu's mom.
Yep. That he took other Quincy's life force to make himself stronger.
Which we get to see play into part 2. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that later.
But yeah, I will say, just out of all of the characters and the new characters introduced and old characters, Yuabaha is the strongest, like, one to be brought in. He's the character that is, I am getting this entire arc is me getting what's due to myself. Like, that this is absolutely what's happening. That everything that plays out for him almost feels like it's prophecy, basically. But it's prophecy that he's literally making.
Yeah. So, for characters, MVP of First Core, 1,000-Year Blood War.
It was I'll say Kenpachi.
Kenpachi? for
I'll
you?
say Kenpachi, and for the second half, but the first half Yamamoto.
Jinzu. For you, 1,000-Year Blood War Part 1. From what you saw, basically, what was your favorite?
What character from what you saw stood out to you?
I got chills hearing Senbon Sakura Kagayoshi again, but I also really liked the Zaraki fight,
Zaraki.
the Kenpachi fight.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of the best.
It's
the Kenpachi duel, and then Genichiro's, or not Genichiro, Yamamoto's giant fucking explosion fuck you sword.
So, something cool I can mention is that apparently some of the people behind the fight with Kenpachi, they actually show up in Zoro's final fight in Wano.
good.
Which
Samurais.
is one of the best episodes that has come out of One Piece, in my opinion.
And Yobaha for you, Duke.
I'd say it's Yamamoto and Yobaha
And
for me.
Yobaha.
Yamamoto has one of my new favorite fights in all of Shonen. Of like, it is up there of top 5 basically. While Yuabaha is just such a bitchin' character.
It also Bleach and now is in the ball. It is in the group of their super powerful old man leader person dies. They're in that group now with like Hunter x Hunter and I hate to already know this and say it, but Naruto is also there
I know, yeah.
with that unfortunate thing. I won't say what it is, but I
We'll
just
talk
know
about it when it comes
when it
up.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it I really like an old man character that is able to
Or Whitebeard as well.
Yeah, Whitebeard. Yeah, Whitebeard. That it sends off the old generation's past and like their strength and all that kind of stuff. It's a finale to that, and without them, they're able to go into the new age basically.
Yeah.
That they signify the old age. I do like that. And oh my god, the animation.
Yeah, I was going to say, your final thoughts on this show.
Oh my god, Studio Perot, please make more stuff.
Yeah. It makes me excited for the next 2 cores of this show. It's so good.
Yeah.
I still don't know what's up with it. I don't know what exactly is happening when it comes to these cores. By the end of core 2, it kind of feels like, okay, but we're in Endgame, right? That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're not in Endgame yet. What?
How?
How? And it's like, we've got another 25 episodes left. That is how much there's left. Isn't that insane to think
It's
of?
absolutely crazy. I got a question.
Yeah.
Quincy, Soul Reaper, Arankar, Fulbring. Which one you taking?
Which one am I taking?
Yeah.
Okay. For reference for me, I'm going to say why I don't want to be a Fulbring real quick.
Yeah.
The entire requirement is that your mother has to have been attacked by a hollow when you were in the womb.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so gone. Shinigami.
You have to die.
I have to die or already have some kind of connection to Shinigamis, so why? Arankar is also kind of like that of you have to be
Okay.
dead. Okay,
Okay.
real quick. I'm
Okay.
gonna finish that one of you have to be dead and then eat
Also
a bunch
in-
of other dead people enough so that you can be the strongest dead.
So Quincy.
And then Quincy's like the last option where you can remain alive until Yuhabaha decides no.
Until he decides you're not worth it.
So technically Quincy's the only one you can really go for without being dead at the beginning.
Okay, so let's
So the one I like the most is Shinigami of I like Blade.
You're like, okay, so the requirements thing being thrown out the window and you could just get the power.
Either I want Shinigami or Fulbring because like I like the idea of a blade that can transform, but I also like the idea of from the Fulbring of something really important to you being able to turn into a weapon for you.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, bring that question to Jinsu who won't have that problem.
Ejitsu.
Yes.
Arankar, Fulbring, Quincy, Shinigami. Which power would you prefer to have?
Probably Shinigami.
Shinigami? You like the Zanpakuto?
Yeah, if not Shinigami, then Arankar.
Yeah, because that's what I would say, Arankar.
I was gonna say, what would you be? Like, what would your power be?
But I also really like Chad's ability.
Which is
Oh,
Fulbring.
Yeah, that's Fulbring, right? Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's another cool question. From all 4, what would be like? Say, for example, Jinsu. What would Jinsu be for all 4?
Oh.
I guess the character Jinsu would be a really good fit for Arankar.
I could see basically like Grimjow similar.
Yeah, yeah. Or something Fuck, I forgot the name of the Shiba dog. That's the fucking captain.
Yeah, like him. Oh, I can actually
Oh
imagine.
yeah.
Dude, that'd be fucking sick for like imagining one of the Wolfmen for as a captain.
Yeah.
But obviously Tiger Man basically with the like would you have basically a similar Bankai? Would Jinsu have a similar Bankai?
Where but instead of like a giant samurai, it's a giant like monk fighter dude.
Jinsu, we're trying to talk to you.
And stop
What
looking
would
at wood
Jinsu-
carvings.
Yeah,
Shit.
what would Jinsu stop looking at wood carvings? What would Jinsu's Bankai be?
Probably. You know the iron claws that you can equip in Dragon Quest?
Ooh,
Yeah!
Probably something like
yeah.
that.
There you go. That's a good one.
It's like it's
it-
what technically what should have happened for Soifon when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better Soifon.
And then
Better soy fun. I know.
other-
I know what the full bring. It would be the mask, the Oni mask that you got. It would be that,
yeah, that'd be sick. Full Oni outfit basically.
and it completely like takes over, and you have like a armor thing that lets.
Isn't
you
it weird
punch.
that that's
Oh
a
wait, what about Visor? You guys forgot about Visors?
Visors? I put in the same ballpark as a Ronkar. Like
they're the opposite of a Ronkar.
Yeah,
basically.
I put them.
So what would your mask look like? It's just the Oni mask, but with more white,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And then finally for what was it?
Quincy.
Quincy. What would your wings look like, basically?
lightning?
What would your
bolts.
glowing wings look like? It's basically yeah, it would be one of the Bambis essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. In all fairness, that's kind of what it is. It'd be massive purple lightning wings. But what would be your ability? What letter do you have for J? What letter would you have? That is your power. The Quincy's, their whole entire thing is that they have a letter that is like their power. It's like a word, and then the letter they're assigned with.
T
For
For?
thunder.
for thunder.
Ah. Ah. Thunder.
I think there is a thunder
For
person.
Titan. No,
Yeah, actually, okay, you say that, but actually the
Oh,
thunder person
yeah!
in the show is the one with the most exposed titties of the Quincy.
And I literally just went today's.
So, Mayhem.
Mayhem is
Every question I gave for all of them.
Yeah,
Give me your answer.
Mayhem is the most obvious for a Ronkar, where it's
You just transform into a giant pig man.
yeah,
basically.
just giant pigman, yeah. And then, I think my going with the Bankai sort of thing, it would be
Would it be similar to Wolfman?
it would be similar to the Wolfman, but the Bankai power would actually be more like whatchamacallit
Part of you?
the summoning the Crusades. Like,
Summoning the Crusades.
Yeah. yeah.
I just imagine just like you activate your thing and it's just suddenly an army of pigmen show up.
Or just an army of pigs.
Yeah, an
Or-
army of pigs.
Yeah. An army of boars.
No, it's fucking Renchi's where it's the giant snake, but it's just a bunch of pigs on
And it's
a
a
coil.
it's a spiral coil thing with the
Yeah.
tail.
Okay, and then your visored mask, what would it look like?
It would just be a pig.
Just pig mask, yeah.
Pig mask, yeah.
For
A full bring.
your full bring, what would be an important item for you that would transform into your ability? A Bible.
It's like Kuma.
You're just a Kuma, yeah. But what would be your important item?
Uh,
It's a fork.
No. A fork that turns into a mace or something like that.
That would be cool, and it's like
spoon.
Spoon. Just a spoonful.
Comically large spoon is your.
is the full bring.
that does sound cool.
Quincy is literally just Mayhem completely unchanged.
No, you're Pepe.
oh yeah, and then the Quincy wings is just the crosses.
Oh yeah. Well, no, you actually made your logo before, so it
Yeah,
would just be that.
It would be the logo. Yeah.
Okay, for me, I can do some quick answers. For Bankai, honestly, it would probably end up being similar to the Wolf guy as well, but more like I'm piloting it essentially. Of, like I'd be inside.
like a Gundam.
Well, it's I hate to say, but a close comparison is basically imagine like Attack on Titan,
Oh yeah,
but
that
like
kinda
mixed with like remember Adventure Time Ricardio,
mech.
where basically like he was the chest.
Yeah.
Imagine that with me like holding that and piloting it.
Oh, so you're physically moving it. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like
Yeah.
a puppet sort of thing where you're actually like.
I'd be
moving it.
puppeting it, yeah.
Ah.
And so it'd be covered in all kinds of armor and shit.
Yeah.
But for the visored, my mask would literally just be my mask that I had commissioned.
Yeah.
But more like traditional essentially. You know what I mean?
Or more Japanese.
More Japanese-esque.
Yeah.
For the Fullbring, it would probably just be like, I'll be honest, it'd probably end up being like a manga that I'm holding that I just pull a weapon out of, and then the book becomes the sword.
Yeah. You're gonna get paper cut.
And of course, I have like the suit of armor that I have for my character.
Yeah.
And the Quincy, it'd probably be like some like very angelic wings, but then I'd sprout like armor all over. That is like the same kind of energy.
Like there's an effect. There's a shout power up thing that happens in Skyrim where
your letter would be G for glutton.
G for fuck you. It's a good thing you were far away from the mic for that one.
But yeah, it'd be like G for glutton. Also G
W
because you like loud G.
W for warrior or something like that.
S for Sentai.
Super Sentai. Yeah. All right.
Toku Sentai. Toku Sentai. And
Yeah.
then my Arankar would probably just be essentially just that armored form.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like pure white.
Like a Ronin sort of warrior sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like a very outcast version of it.
Yeah.
All right. What's next, Duke?
Core 2.
Core 2.
Which is the separation.
Yep. And the next part of Bleach. But thank you everybody so much for watching. If you like it, subscribe for more. And we'll catch you next time. Legend what?
Legend of Korra.
Legend of Korra.
But yeah, you technically, Mayhem, you've seen it. Want to give a teaser for the next one?
If I could describe the Squad Zero, it would be cool, but also kind of terrifying.
Giselle getting the Bambi.
Oh god, no! No! Shinji, what are you doing?
Shinji, get out of that hospital room!
Oh my god, this hospital bed is full of semen bootsen.
No! Bye. That's the worst thing you've ever said. If you want to see more of our content, you can find our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter on our Linktree at linktree/greenvillains. That's linktr.ee/greenvillains.